It spread to Egypt, they were walking like Tunisians there. It spread to Egypt, they were walking like Tunisians there. And that spirit blew across Libya, and it ended up in Tahrir Square. Then it spread to Yemen, they were walking like Egyptians there. It spread to Bahrain, they're walking like Egyptians there. And that spirit blew across the Red Sea, and it ended up Pearl Square. And it's an open door, but you only get what you go for. Then it spread to Wisconsin, they were walking like Egyptians there. It spread to Wisconsin, they were walking like Egyptians there. And that spirit blew across the Atlantic, and it ended up in Capitol Square. And it's an open door, but you only get what you go for. Not spread to Syria, they're walking like Egyptians there. Not spread to Spain, they're walking like Egyptians there. And that spirit's blowing across the whole world, it could end up anywhere. But it's an open door, and you only get what you go for.
I'm trying to maybe possibly put together an Occupy Internet.
And I first of all want to say I do love my country. I think we all do, and we see it heading in a wrong direction. And my goal is to help any which way I can to turn it around. I have strong beliefs about having a parliament rather than a congressman, and therefore we can get people out of office quicker if they screw up, and I think it's a much more democratic process.
I'm a sometime teacher, also retired fireman. I've done a number of colleges and universities, but my interest is in into how you get this kind of open, tolerant society that tries to make room for everybody, and we've kind of lost that vision. I'll give an example of that. I've given a couple other talks. I won't go what I've done. I won't go what I've done before. But for instance, there's a Unitarian church here that their thing is an umbrella. And they invite everyone in under the umbrella, but they don't know how to ask the people they invite in to help hold the umbrella. And a similar thing happened from George Mason University all the way to universities in California. They had all these individual groups. They had black studies, Hebrew studies, Muslim studies. But so you go down the hall, they have all these things. But so I stood around the hall in a number of these things, just talking to people. They don't know what's going on in either one of these things, so they think it's a kind of tolerance to just say, yeah, everybody just do their own culture, but someone has to say, give a reason why we tolerate everybody. And I'm interested in that larger theoretical framework, and I'm writing on that. So.
And what brings you to Occupy? Or what brought you to the movement?
Future for my 2 young boys is not looking very good. Either they're going to go in the military or they're going to be flipping burgers.
Scott Wilkinson. I'm here because I think it's our last best chance to save our democracy. I think if we don't get the money out, we're going to lose this. It becomes plutocracy if it hasn't already. And I don't know who posted it on the Fort Myers, Occupy Fort Myers site, because a lot of stuff isn't attributed, but I'd like to thank whoever posted that link to the city autonomy reports, which I thought were very illuminating. You don't get to see the dark belly of the beast very often. The Koch brothers are a good example of that. But if you haven't read those reports, look them up on the internet. They don't stay up long because the lawyers come out and tell them to take them down because it's copyright infringement. But you can find them. They're worth a read. It's pretty scary what these people are planning for us.
I'm here because the Occupy movement embraces a lot of issues that affect inequality in this country rather than focusing on just one particular narrow issue. That's what I find it to be most attractive. I also feel that it's very important to change the political system because many people are very apathetic. They think it's useless to vote because they're all crooks and that they're all being paid off by the wealthy. And if we can change that, then we may get people more fired up about a democracy.
I'm here for the next generation, like a lot of other people. Just I'm inspired that activism is not dead. That people are actually getting involved again, and I want to be a part of it.
Thank you. John?
My name's John. I'm here because I think the world should be changed. I think we started to try to change it back in the 60s with the anti-establishment movement and all that. And I think the ending of the Vietnam War kind of dampened that a little bit. They put their eggs in that one basket, more or less. I think this world has not changed like they wanted to change back in the 60s. I don't think it's gotten a lot worse. I think people have gotten a lot more greedy. I think everything in the society, the healthcare system, you name it, I don't care what system you look at, it's based on greed. People even have the idea that people it's natural for a person to be greedy, people think. But that's not true. I'm here to say that it's natural for us to share everything. Just like the occupiers were over there, they're living in one purse, they're living in one house, which all humanity will someday. I know I won't be here to see it, but I hope some of these younger ones are, you know. They can change it and make the world a better place for everybody in the whole entire world. Where everybody gets fed first. Get something to eat first. Then you can worry about getting a pair of shoes. That's all I got to say.
You, John?
And, sometimes I don't have a lot of hope for the future. I think that things might go down pretty badly in the next couple years. Hopefully we'll all just run out of oil and go back to farming. That would be cool. But I just don't want to look back and say that I didn't participate in this, that I stayed home.
Well, I'm here as many of the white hairs are because I have children and grandchildren, and I grew up in a time when it was a wonderful time to grow up. We didn't have to worry about, when I was a little kid, the air was clean, the water was clean, we could go find tadpoles out, and all kinds of things. It was a wonderful time to grow up. That didn't happen for my kids, and it's absolutely not happening for my grandchildren. They're far down those places that they can get to that are like that. I made a new sign. This is what I want. I want clean air, I want clean water, and I want clean government.
It's sad in our country that we live in, that we call the greatest country, that in the time that we're going through right now, that we can't even tell our kids, you know, go to school, get a good education, and you know, you'll prosper in this country, because that's not the case. Because I'm watching over 200,000 young kids coming back home to live with mommy and daddy because they cannot find a job. I relate that back to our government as far as the free trade. We don't make anything in the United States anymore. Nothing at all. So we do have to bring that back. And I am with you guys, like everybody else here, to go to the government. And we all have different ways in our lives that we can say something to each and every politician that's there and say, look, this needs to change. You guys have kids, your kids are fine. The 99% of us out here are not. And I will be here every week like I've been here from week 1 until something changes.
Laid off electrician right now in the construction trade. And I am highly upset with our government, the way that they go and spend money overseas. They go and they worry about their oil, and they don't take care of their country, and they don't take care of our people. And this is what strives us, is our construction trade. What builds our houses, what builds our homes. It allows these people to have the families and everything that you want. You know, and yet the corporate industries are so rich that that's what they want. They want everything to keep them rich and keep us poor. And I'm highly upset about it. This is my first time here. Thank you all for welcoming me.
It's like a race to the bottom, where greedy people at the top were organizing things so that the most desperate take from other people. And it's not right. There are enough resources. God gave this world enough resources for all of us. And that anyone would want to orchestrate a race to the bottom is just wrong. That's why I'm here, because I want the same opportunities for my kids, my grandkids, and my great-granddaughter that I have. Let me tell you about the people who are not here. Every one of them is one paycheck from not having a job, one paycheck from not having medical insurance, one paycheck from not having a dry place to sleep, one paycheck for not having a meal. The only reason they're not here is because they don't understand it. And I don't know whose job it is to tell them. That's the only reason they're not here, because they don't understand what's happening.
I truly believe that we've got to get people moving. That's the only way we're going to move this forward. Thank you.
All right.
I believe that Senator Nelson is actually the co-sponsor of a bill that has to do with voter registration and how people should target more minority areas and
That's
stuff.
another, yeah.
Is there any way that we can sort of get in with his staff a little bit and ask him if they have any information about groups for helping get out the vote and stuff, and maybe pool efforts in some which way?
That's a good idea. Week 1, I was out here, and Martin Luther King is right down the street, and I see 1 or 2 black folk that come through every week. We need to get more blacks and Latinos out here. We have the cliche, everybody have a black friend. Bring them out. We marched one time down there, everybody came back safe. But we only did it one time. We only marched down there one time. So again, if anybody got any literature, I will gladly take it over there.
Oh, I lost my job at the factory in Ohio because all the jobs are going over to China. Then I come down here, I get a job at Lowe's. They hire me in as a temp, keep me as a temp for 9 months, keep on telling me they're going to hire me in full time. And then when I'm dangling that carrot in front of my face, and then at the end of 9 months, they give my department away, the whole delivery department, to subcontractors because they'd rather pay them minuscule amounts and pay me overtime, benefits, and a decent wage. That's reality.
Ford figured it out a century ago. If you want people to buy your product, you have to pay them a decent wage. And American industry doesn't care about that anymore. They don't want to pay a decent wage. They can go pay a minimum wage and sell their products to third world countries.
You only get what you go for. Not spread to Syria, they're walking like Egyptians there. Not spread to Spain, they're walking like Egyptians there. And that spirit's blowing across the whole world, it could end up anywhere. But it's an open door.
Yeah, no, I'm just donating him to Occupy Fort Myers.
hoping they can get some good use out of them.